The National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa says there are not enough grade R, 1, 2 and 3 teachers who are being produced. Now the union says this has serious impact on learning as well. So where exactly is the problem? Let's speak to Basil Manuel, who is with the National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, and he's the Executive Director there. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Manuel. I mean, you say that there's a shortage. What are the numbers saying? How bad is it?
Good evening, Bongiwe, and thanks for having me. Let me first of all stress that by taking a step back, that there is no aggregate shortage of teachers.
Yeah.
If you simply look at the number of teachers being produced and the number of posts that there are, in fact, we are at this time producing a few more teachers than we require. However, the problem is that we are not producing for the right places, for the right subjects, for the right phases all the time. And as a result, we find when we focus specifically on the foundation phase, that we have a lot of teachers trained for other phases that are finding themselves in the foundation phase. Now, this is not always a major problem, but it does begin as a problem because the people are not trained for that. Take reading, for example. Not every teacher can teach reading. So it's a very specialized area. And our complaint comes out of the research done at Stellenbosch by RECEP, that they have shown that this problem is growing. Far too few foundation phase teachers are being trained. And we are saying, if we want to improve reading, if we want to prepare for mother tongue instruction, we then need to sit up, pay attention, and do something about it.
And what impact does this have, especially when we look at, at it in the context of, foundation phase pupils, some of them not able to read for meaning?
Foundation phase is as the name suggests, the foundation of learning. And if we don't get it right there, simply because a teacher can't teach reading or is battling with being in the foundation phase, obviously the children will suffer from it. And we know a lot of them have done extra work to qualify themselves. But our criticism comes here. There is not enough being done, even by the education department, to ensure that even though these teachers are out of alignment, we are preparing them, we are retraining them, we are repositioning them so that they can do the job. That's the first issue. The second issue, the alarm bell has to ring. We know we have spoken for years about mother tongue education. There's a new impetus to try to see that mother tongue instruction starts growing. But of course, to do that, you must have teachers in the foundation phase who can speak the various mother tongues. And if we are not training foundation phase teachers, how in heaven's name will we be training vernacular foundation phase teachers? And that is where our concerns lie.
And especially when you listen to, the matric results, for example, and the technical report that also even last year again was speaking about this issue of mother tongue instruction and how important it is going to be. But I wonder then, listening to what you're saying, does it not also speak to a possible lack of coordination between the basic and higher education as well as some of the institutions of higher learning when it comes to the qualifications and them speaking to one another with synergy here?
This is absolutely the point, Bongiwe. You have hit the nail on the head, as though you were sitting in that meeting with us. Yes, it is true that there is a lack of coordination, and I want to spell it out. First of all, we as the Department of Basic Education offer Funza Lushaka bursaries. We need to be directing where the teachers must be trained in. But the vast majority don't get bursaries. So we need higher education through the DBE also to say, this is where the need is, and this is where we will admit students into the universities. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be complete coordination. I don't want to suggest that there's no coordination, but there is a disjuncture. And unless we fix that, we are not going to fix where the gaps are. But, Bongiwe, let me hasten to say, we are focusing on the foundation phase, but the same would apply to mathematics, to physics, etc., where you have to be far more directive and intentional when you start planning in this regard. And if we don't plan now, we are actually planning for failure.
And I suppose it speaks to this ongoing issue of training as well. But I wonder, when it comes to the institutions of higher learning who are also training teachers, are they equipping them adequately, in your view?
We have a lot of really exceptional young teachers coming out of the universities. And so I'd like to say yes, but of course there are always those that will battle. But it is also the schools with induction programs. And induction isn't a once-off. It must be a continued process, at least for the first year and a bit, so that the new teacher is not sinking or swimming. You can't do that. There's so much that a university can't teach. The university doesn't teach practical things. They give you the education around it. Now the school must help fully form the new teacher. If we don't do that, we doom a person with great enthusiasm, great potential, to being a teacher that is throwing their hands up in despair. So it is not only the universities, it's our system of induction that we need to look at very carefully and to push it. Every school must be doing it.
And do you find that, the department, that is the basic education department in this particular case, is receptive of some of what you've had to say come out of your Lekgotla?
Absolutely. Remember, this is a Lekgotla with the DBE, of the DBE.
Yeah.
And we've received many reports, and of course, a lot of the research has been commissioned by the DBE. So the DBE is very aware. Now we need to see action taking place. We are throwing stones into the bush to see what jumps out, because we want to see quick responses to what are excellent research papers that have been delivered. And if the value is only in the research, then we've missed the point. We want to see that there is an adoption of these and a championing of the ideas. Of course, not every idea is perfect. It still needs to be a purpose made for the department itself. But we've got to start somewhere. We can't wait for tomorrow.